Hello YouTubers, Reloading Bench back with you once again. And you might not be able to tell, but this video is going to be about snap caps. And I got in the habit a number of years ago of putting snap caps, or in some cases dummy rounds, and I'll talk about the differences here in a second, in my 22s, even in the magazine of semi, but more so from a revolver point of view, because you don't want to accidentally dry fire 22 on a revolver, and that's because it'll strike, and the pin will, the firing pin will strike the cylinder head, and it'll leave a little dimple. So, you know, whenever you're shopping for an old 22 revolver, or even a new 22 revolver, like a Smith & Wesson 617, you want to open that revolver, you want to open that cylinder and inspect the cylinder head to see if there are any strikes. And because this is full of these dummy snap caps, dummy round snap caps, and again, I'll talk about the difference, you want to protect that cylinder head. So years ago, I started with, you know, these orange things, and over time, I swapped out to, I guess, these blue things, and then over time, I swapped out to these silver things. And the difference is, and I have these all mixed up now, so I don't know if these blue or these orange are the actual A-Zooms by Pacmar. I'd have to look it up, but this is one type of snap cap, this is another, and this blue is yet a third, and then these Carlsons are four. So there's four different type of I'm just going to use the term snap caps. But there is a difference because, for example, one of the reasons I like the Carlsons, and the reason I bought these steelworx, is because I couldn't find the Carlsons online anymore. And the cost of these particular dummy rounds are ridiculous. This was $12.95 for a pack of 12. This was almost the same price, and these are steel. So I'll bring out the scale here and show you the differences in the weight. But these snap caps dry fire without damaging your firearm and are a great training aid. The dummy rounds even say, do not dry fire. These are not dry fire snap caps. See warning on back. These are practice and loading training rounds, and ideal for education, but not for dry fire. In fact, it says this was snap caps. So snap caps allow you to pull the trigger. Warning, A-Zoom long fire blah, 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 dummy rounds are designed to teach safe firearms handling. They are not snap caps. They may be worked through the actions of any 22 long rifle, or for function testing, dry firing will deform the head and will limit their use to 4 or 5 hits. And I would not disagree with that, but I would also say, you know, so what? And the reason I say so what is because here, for example, and I don't know if the camera is going to focus, is one that is completely pristine. Same one that has more than a couple hits. So who cares? It's protecting the cylinder. That's no hits. And obviously these are, same thing, no hits. And I think these have a combination of a couple too many. So they've served their purpose. They have protected the cylinder head. So I'm going to unload these, but I'm going to do it off camera because of YouTube's rules. And this is a very cool top break. So I'm going to not unload these online. Hold on. A few moments later. So the beauty of this old H&R is the top break, and just like the Schofield, it would pop the rounds out. So a cowboy, not that a cowboy would be using a 22, but for the old Schofield 45, you could be riding a horse and just eject your rounds. And again, the value is when you look at the cylinder head, you don't see any divots. You don't see any strikes. These are numbers to match the stem, but you don't see any off hits. I take it back. There looks like maybe there's one there. Yeah, that looks like one right there. So maybe one right there too. So whoever owned this in the last 40 some odd years had dry fired. There's actually a couple. Yeah, just not heavy dry firing. And that is exactly the value of snap caps, to preserve your cylinder so that on a 22, the rimfire firing pin does not damage that particular part of the gun. I started with these orange things just because they were available. I think I probably got them at a local shop 10, 15 years ago. Then went to the blues. I want to say these light blues were first, then these darker blues. Then maybe I couldn't find those anymore, and I went to these Carlsons. And I like the Carlsons for whatever reason, I don't know. Maybe they feel a little better in the hand. But the difference in the weight, and then I'm really happy with these steelworx. These are solid. Solid in the sense of heavy piece of steel. Single piece of steel, coated with a little red paint. Trying to indicate, not a real round. There's no, it's not like a 22 long rifle has a primer, but that hole is to indicate there's nothing there. But the weight difference, so go for the oldest. That again, when you look at what these cost, it's the same today as what these cost, and in my opinion, the steelworx is a better value. So let us zero. I don't know why that's. All right, so we're at 0. That's 10.7 grains. That's 23.8. We'll do the third one. 24.4. So I guess there's no consistency on these. The two blues, the other blue, a little lighter. A little more consistency on the two blues. The Carlsons, 24, 23.7, 24 and some change. So I'm going to say the most consistent were these blues at 22.5 and 22.3-ish. Then we get into the steelworx, and I'm liking these. One for the money, and two, that's 50, 55, 9. Let's do one or two more. 55.8. Pick one in the middle. 55.8. Actually, we'll do one more. 55.8. So these are 55.8. These are very, well, I might as well do them all. 55.4. I should stop while I was ahead. 55.8. 55.8. So, not that, consistency for dummy rounds matters, as is evident from these, but, I needed 9 more for this cylinder, and I could have hodgepodged it all together, but I went looking for the Carlsons, couldn't find them. I want to say I picked these steelworx up for somebody else who was learning on their 9mm, and I liked the fact that it felt realish. So, when you talk about practice for loading and training, when something weighs nowhere near the real McCoy, not even close, and then you have something that's pretty much identical, only it doesn't fire. I think that's the winner. So these steelworx are good stuff, and I will put them back in this H&R Sportster. What is this called? The Sportsman model 999. This is about 43 years old and in amazing condition. Very cool with the top brake. Very, very cool. Stuff you don't see made anymore in today's age. So again, the steelworx, I'm liking these. Good stuff. Take care.